Hello, everybody. This is an analysis of a match that I'm playing with Ray Pistorici. It's in preparation for an APA Masters qualifier or something like that. Anyways, it's a combination of 8-ball and 9-ball. So we're going to play 5 games of 8-ball, and then the rest of the games we'll play 9-ball, and it's ultimately a race to 7. So we decided to play the 8-ball first. Ray has a little bit less experience playing 8-ball, especially on a 9-footer. So we're just going to run through, and I'm going to give my thoughts here as things progress. So right away here, I think the 9 is reasonable. I also think that if you shoot the 1 and you can come down below the side and then shoot the 7 in the opposite corner past the 8, you could totally take solids here as well as stripes. If you're playing the 9, then I think you expect to try to hold it for the 12 or continue to run through that gap between the 1 and the 5 and play the, I believe that's the 10 in the corner, with the intent of playing the 13 and the 11 to come back up for the 12. The only restriction would then be the 12, and then the 14 are going to be, you have to get particular shape. So he overrolled, I think, the spot. From here, I think you just continue and shoot the 12 in the side. Play for the 15 to the 14. 15 to the 10. We are playing a friendly match, so there's actually, while we're playing, I'm actually talking to him as well. So this is like an extra layer of information that he's getting. So I may not talk the whole time that this is going on once I've given up all my thoughts on this thing, this rack here. So if we're playing, for instance, maybe we're playing solids from this position, you'd be looking to try to get position to get beyond where the 4 and the 7 are, get those out of there, and then the 6, everything else goes, right? So you wouldn't have to worry about it. So the only tricky balls for stripes really that aren't connected is the 14 is kind of in no man's land because the 12 is covering it up, and then the 2 to 5 are reducing the window of opportunity. So here I think you just play touch high, maybe a touch of right English. You need it to check and not go towards the 14. I think it's okay if you run up and bump the 5 here, because you'll end up with a good angle on the 14. From here, I would consider shooting the 14 and going straight forward and up, and maybe you're going to bump the 1 in which case then you'll play the 10, and if you go past it, then you play the 11, instead of trying to go around it like this. If he's going to shoot that shot, then after in retrospect, you could just hit it harder and you would have been going further past it and probably ended up shot on the 13. From here, I think you have to kick to the end rail and down at the 11, or I don't know if he can kick above the 7 with right English and hit the 11. By bumping the 11, you're potentially going to clear the 7 out for me to pocket, which makes it a little bit less desirable to move the 11. Not that you have much option here. I don't think that he can hit the 13. Pretty good shot. It's difficult for me to really want to go for it here. The 13 does not pass the 11, which makes it a little bit better, but the 10, where it's at, if I was to leave him an open shot on the 10, he could potentially work through that problem. I'm basically trying to look to leave him behind in the corner pocket, take away as much opportunity as I can, take away the easy angle to get shape on the 11 from the 10. So I'm going to bank the 1 and slide behind the 5-2 as my desired shot here. Let's hit a little bit full. I needed to glance off it just a little bit. So I basically left him not quite perfect, obviously. I think he has to roll forward under the 6 to really get the shot that you want here. So one of the things I'll be doing is checking pre-shot routine and seeing the reaction of the player as well. One of the things we want to do as we progress in the game is to react better, I guess, and better over time. More like the way you want to. I kind of try to uphold my attitude more so than my own game. I feel like my attitude is more important to me in the long run. How I respond to what's happening versus how I'm reacting to what's happening. I'm trying to choose the best response for the situation. And typically, adding as much positivity or like lack of reaction in general is better. Went for that bank shot, which is kind of a nice like built-in two-way. I'm going to try to make this 6 ball past the 10, go through it. So this is like, you got to hit it just full, but on the side to where when it rolls forward, it'll still be going in. So I sit the bottom of the 10 slightly. If I'd hit the top of the 10, it wouldn't have gone in. Now I could go for it, but I'm just going to play a roll-up safe here. An 8 ball, once you have your opponent down to a couple balls that are not so easy, I think that playing a little bit more conservatively is nice. Waiting for a little bit of a better opportunity than you might get if you just keep going for it and you end up getting a little bit tricky. Like I had a missable shot, so I elected to play safe because an easier-ish type safety was in play. If I had gotten the cue ball maybe half an inch closer to the 2, then it would have been really difficult for him. And this is still pretty tough. A lot of this comes down to forcing him to make mistakes and challenge him with difficult shots. Made it interesting. Bumping my ball. So I'm looking to play the 4 in the corner and then make the 13 and hope to end up with a shot. pretty good. Had I not had shape there for the next ball, then I would have played another save because the 11 is a little bit tricky. Should have stopped it and rolled it. First game jitters. Only real positive thing that happened there was that I blocked the hole for the 8, so he has to do a little bit of stroke. One of the things that I'm working on, and I recommend to everyone that's listening, is to, when you're analyzing your own play, always be looking for the silver lining as far as the good thing that happened with what you did. If you're working on improving, you should be looking for improvement. I guess is the best way I can explain my thought process there. More positivity is better than less positivity. Ray played it safe there, I guess. We actually had talked about just starting over from this moment. Well, we elected to continue, so I'm going to just play safety rather than try to bank it in and play shape. Just keeping the 3 in play, making it a little bit difficult. So it's a pretty tough cut, which is makeable. I was trying to get a little bit further towards the right and leave him a little bit of a more of a stiffer cut and make the bank a little bit more of a viable shot. Ideally, you want to give him like a dilemma where he has 2 difficult options, and that sort of the distraction of not knowing which one is better can actually make it harder to execute because you have a little bit more question in your mind about what the proper shot is. So I should just be able to roll this in and then make the 8. But I think I might play more speed to avoid the scratch. 8's in the middle of the table, so I'm playing the cue ball to come off those rails and then back towards the middle to play a shot. So I don't want to get trapped shooting at the 8 when it's cue balls on the side. Alright, so it's 1-0. Experimenting with different break positions. A little bit more clustering, breaking from the side here on this rack. Still open. If the 1 passes the 8, you might try to use that to break the balls out. Otherwise, you can use the 2 ball. If you're shooting it to the left, the 4 ball. If you can either get like an angle like you have right now on the 4 and then go into the balls to break them out, that would be good. I would say as it stands, the balls are pretty equal. If the 1 ball goes right now, I might like solids better. think from here, shooting stripes is good. It's either actually fine. A lot of it has to do with where you're going to get your breakout situation from. The 10, maybe the 11. Also, you could use, I'd say the 4, 2, and 3 are legitimate from some scenarios. Okay, now that you've shot the 15, can roll forward into the side rail and then play for the 11. From there, you could have played the 10 with follow and right. So what I'm immediately looking at is seeing where I can break these balls out, not make it worse. So I want to move them away from the stack. So I pretty much immediately go for it, and then if I kind of can't get there from my initial few shots, then I will lay up. Fortunately, the way the balls are positioned, it's a little bit tougher for Ray. Those 3 balls underneath the main rack portion are actually in a pretty tough spot, especially now that I've moved the 3 into that pocket area. So I think if he's going to roll forward and then use the 11 as your breakout ball, it's not going to necessarily make things that much easier. I don't think the 13 passes the 2. And I'm not sure from this view if the 14 passes the 8. And you can get an angle on it. It looks as though it may. But from here, a little difficult. You'd be rolling forward. Now it's pretty murky. Use high inside. Come below the balls, or you just, if you come from above, you're just praying because the balls are going to go down into a blocked area, kind of. I'm not sure if coming from the top is going to work out unless you hit it perfect. Pretty good effort, really, but there's not much there. I might try to cut the 9 into the 3. So from here, I'm in a really good position. I'm really just going to like grind a little bit here. If I can get the 1 out, then I'm in business. And he doesn't really have a good way to get out. The 9 is blocked, and then the 13 is on the rail, and then obviously the 14 is tied up almost completely. Yeah, so I really wanted to cover the 9 because I don't want him to be able to combo that in and leave his 9 there. Yeah, what I'm thinking about here is I don't know if the 8 goes past the 13 very easily through that combo. But I might consider bumping the 8 down to the end rail and then trying to hit the 3 ball with my cue ball on this shot, or at least bumping the 9 and getting it to another spot, and maybe it clears it out. Because it needs to be moved. From here, I'm trying to make that 13, I think. I'm still looking good. My main goal here is just to make it hard for him. He has 3 balls and I have 7 balls on the table. So I'm using the traffic to make it more difficult for him to get out. The forward still doesn't go, so I want to address that. The 1 doesn't go, so I want to address it before I start getting too involved with running the balls out. I kind of have to feel like I can see a process that makes a little bit of sense before I try to get going crazy on it. Did not bump it out, though I wanted to. Now from here, I feel like he could make the 13, bump the 8, and then he's probably playing for a bank on the 9, but that could potentially work. Some magic would have to happen, but it's doable. Cleared his ball out. Now my 3 ball goes. So the only shot that I have that's tough is the 4 right now. All the other balls are clear. So I'm thinking that I can probably get it out. I was hoping to get on that ball right away. That would have been nice. Bumped it out. That was what I was going for. Now the one doesn't go. I was trying to bump the one there. Instead of playing real first on the 3, I'm going to play this really close together. One ball. Came up a little far. Row first is fine here. I wanted to hit it full ball in, but it is what it is. Just playing to make sure I come back out and back up. I don't want to get trapped below the 8. So I'm playing to kick this and hit it thinly. Almost caught too much of it. But ended up really nice. Two zero. Back to breaking from the middle. A little bit of pizzazz on that one. Immediately, it looks like solids is the way. The 6 is the only shot that is need to get really nice on. Stripes is tough with the 9 and the 14. The 13 is a little close to the rail. It doesn't go on the side quite easily. Main obstruction here is the 4. Oh, dang, that's right. We're playing make it, take it, so I am stripes. So I got to get that 9 out of there right away. I don't know if I'm going to... I could see myself maybe playing off the 6 ball with that 10 to try to bump the 6 down and up and clear the 9. Cleared that ball out for my 13. That shot was intentioned to break the 6 and 9 apart. So now I have to play safe. Might thin off the right side of the 6 and try to use it as cover. That's pretty tricky, but that's why I left it there. It's not much easy. Another one you could do is maybe kick at it to try to make it. A little bit risky. Pretty good. Left it there so that the 9 doesn't pass. It did give up the 14, but pretty reasonable overall. Yeah, I didn't aim both the angle on the 3 or the 13 that I wanted because I bumped it. And I was really trying to come off and not bump the 13 so I could play the 15 from not on the rail. So I got to do a nice like stun shot here. Well, now I'm a little bit steep on this cut, so instead of playing it 1 rail to 2 rails to that spot that I'm pointing at, I got to play multiple rails. 1, 2, 3 rails, 4 rails back to that spot. Pretty solid. Pressed myself right there. Hit a little bit too hard, but the line worked out. Trying to draw this with spin to get to the end rail and back. But I was so close I couldn't really get the dig on it that I wanted. So I just got to nail this from far away. Bear down. Hit your contact point. Hit the cue ball where you want to. Boom. 3-0. Another dry break here. With solids, the trickiest ball I see is really the 6, I would say. I might have considered shooting the 3 and bumping it if I could get like not a lot of bump on it from that first shot. Shoot the 3 on the side and bump the 6 down table a little bit. Then you could use the 4 to come back for the 6. As it stands, you kind of want to get into the middle of the table to shoot that 6 ball, which is a little tricky with those 4 strike balls surrounding it. Now I'd be considering the 4 to the 6, shooting the 6 in the corner. If the 6 goes now, I think that's a good place to shoot it. Like that. Now you just make the 3. You gotta. Now the 2 is the tricky shot. Shoot the 1 and draw back for the 2 in the side. I like that. Play this for the side is good. Wide open table, you'd maybe play for the middle of the table here to shoot in the corner, but obviously with this traffic, you're just going to roll it and hit it a little bit thin. Maybe touch it inside English. some interesting motions prior to the shot on that rack. I remember we were talking about how he feels the stroke in the cue as part of his routine, which I'm trying to minimize myself, but I understand that it's kind of more of a feel thing, and that's really up to everybody's personal choice. I definitely do it. I'm trying to do more of the shot in my mind these days. Kind of choreograph the motion of what I'm going to do to make the ball go without moving my body. I was trying to hit that 4 with the cue ball to break it wide open. Now I got to play a safety, I think. Sort of what I do here is I'm shooting to make it to where if he shoots an aggressive shot, he's going to move balls away from the breakout and potentially leave the cue ball where I can shoot my shot. Because I think the 9 goes in the corner past the 2. You get perfect on it. So if he shoots his 3, for instance, and leaves it, he could leave me the bank or the shot in the corner. So I'm leaving him something to think about. And just removing one of his balls. That could potentially be used as a breakout. Where he keeps trying to get on that ball. He keeps coming overrolling just a little bit here. I don't know if you want to use high inside to try to break that out. You might play the 1 and then shoot the 6 in the side. And try to use the side rail to go back into the 4 and the 9. Might be a difficult angle from there, though. Pretty tricky here, yeah. I like thinning off the bottom of the 6 and coming to the end rail. You don't want to move it too far from the 4. Now, I'm a pretty aggressive player. So I'm going to break this 4 or 9 out. However, in a more pressure situation, it's likely that I would not even move it. And I would probably just play safe off the 13. Try to leave the cue ball down below the 15. And then really just playing for ball in hand. So there I was expecting the cue ball to travel just a little bit further and get covered by the 8. And that would have been a good save. It kind of got stopped because this 9 and the 4 were frozen. I'm explaining here. So it just didn't have the energy to push through like it would have if it was only one ball. Which is my mistake. Should have just a touch thinner. So I'm giving up the shot here, and I think you got to play low right and just try to draw back straight across. Otherwise, you can go go forward hard and maybe bump that ball and try to come out, but it's a little tricky. I think the draw shot is the shot. Yeah, I caught the 14 heavy. This is a tough spot. Basically, you got to thin the 6. Hope you make it. Potentially, you could end up with the shot. Not much you can do. you're pretty routine. 14 is the only real ball that has to be like in a particular spot, but I don't know. To me, there's a roadmap always. You just have to see it. It's more about just letting the shots be there and working your way towards a goal of like, I want to shoot the 8 in the side. So what ball leads me to that? You know, what balls need to be addressed first? And just stay in control. Okay, we're on to the 9 ball. You're just going to make it, draw, come over a little bit far. It's about aiming small, missing small. I'm not sure what I'm talking about right now. Right here might hit the 7. I think I mentioned that when I was playing with Ray. I'm going to use draw on the left. 5-1. Got a little bit of a kiss there on my break. Decided I'm breaking hard today. Here, I would like to be more towards the middle of the table to shoot the 2 rather than being under the 5, so I could use the end rail as my bounce rail towards the 4, or I could use inside English, go end rail, side rail to the 4. Because I want to shoot the 4 in the corner, I believe, more so than worrying about shooting it in the side. Because partly when you're shooting this shot, the spin is going to take you way past the spot unless you get it absolutely perfect. So you got to almost shoot this with like a stun to hold it. And that makes it easy to under-hit it. To get it to roll more the way you want to, it's actually kind of reversed from what you like to be. Just came out a little bit too far. I might play safe here by banking the 4 like 2 rails towards the spot under the 9, and then using like high left to send the cue ball back to the top end rail. Kind of fallen off the rails of playing in like a serious match, and we're kind of on to just discussing the finer points of pool as far as what kind of like what I'm looking at, what I'm trying to do, how I'm seeing what I'm doing. removed a little bit of footage. Here I'm just trying to use a little left, play off the 4 and then off the side of the 9 to go higher up towards the 5. Now I'm going to try to play short side, low left with a little bit of kind of a stun to get it to come shorter instead of going long. If I just let it roll, it's going to go long. Actually, on that shot, I see I was trying to play 3 rails between the 6 and the 8 for inside that little zone, just trying to be cute. So you just play forward here, short side. On this shot, you can either go forward or you can try to like use stop shot and just punch out. Either shot's good, whatever you prefer. It's more about being able to make this ball. Looked like you hit just a little bit at the rail first. I'm just going to shoot the shot where it is, make the ball, and then shoot the 8 from wherever. I think I'm trying to hold it by hitting it a little bit soft. Got a little funny there, pretty thin cut. So I'm trying to see the ball go in the hole. Before I shoot it. Playing the cue ball up and down. Overcut it. Kick 2 rails to make it, either side. You hit the proper speed, you will have a shot. Could get safe if you miss. So I'm trying to play this ball back to the same spot that it is by playing this bank shot and playing a lot of speed. It's a 3 rail bank back to the corner, or back to this middle of the table. The cue ball goes 3 rails back to the end rail over by that corner pocket. Yeah, the point was just to leave them far away. Tough cut. Maybe interfering with the 9. nearly made it. Six to one. Looking good. 3 to the 4 is a little bit tricky. 4 to the 5 can be. Let's roll forward. Gotta stay above the angle so I can go under the 9 and back up. Hit that too hard. Not too much though. I wanted about 6 to 8 inches less roll. Just below straight in, really. I just need to bear down on this shot rather than talk. Got away with that. A tough roll there. I'm just going to have the same shot that I wanted from the beginning. Ideally, not straight. That's why you want to come in to be off of the angle instead of going right at the straight in. There's a little bit of experience though. I'm trying to get above the 8 there. I think I'm a little bit animated because I've been talking this whole time, so it's been a little bit tougher to play well when I'm conversing. I'm doing pretty good though. I'll just make sure I see the ball going in. Connect with the shot. Play my shape. Quiet my mind in my mouth. Let's play from wherever. Either angle would have been fine, straight in fine. Just shoot the next shot from that place. I appreciate everybody that's watching. Hope you're having a great one. See you later.